Okay, and we're live for episode 9 of Our Time Is Now. Ladies and gentlemen, I got a homeboy coming on the show today. One of my childhood friends, go by the name of Tree J, a.k.a. TJ the Roadstar Roden. That's a nickname I gave him back in the day. And here we are for Our Time Is Now, episode 9, for the first official Wrestling with Time, WWT, episode 1. And the only way to get that started off right is with a little bit of bang bang. I'm on my Cactus Jack. You know what I'm saying? And today's show is sponsored to you by El Segundo, Steve Austin's Broken Skull IPA.
Now give me a hell yeah, and there's only one way you can set off a podcast of wrestling without mentioning the GOAT. Stone Cold Steve Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass.
Let me tell you, I've been looking for these everywhere. I ain't found them. They come in a 4-pack at the local beverage barn beer distributor where I'm at. It was $14 for a 4-pack, but you bet your sweet ass I had to pick some up. Support my man, the Texas Rattlesnake himself. And yeah, you know, I wish I could just crack these two goddamn
beer cans together and give me a beer bash,
but I'm at my grandma's crib and I can't have a mess. So, yeah. And also, got on my little Razor Ramon flow like episode 1. Keep the curls going. About to give my boy Tree J, a.k.a. the Roadstar Roden, a call. We better jump into it. This week, what we are discussing is WWE, well, WWF, whatever, WCW Invasion 2001, the turning point where the industry was monopolized by no other than Vincent Kennedy McMahon himself.
So, if you got a pair of grapefruits, Austin, get out here right now and give me a goddamn stunner, will ya? I don't need the Austin who gives me hugs.
Nah. But yo, we about to get into it. I'm goofing off. I'm in rare form today. Y'all are seeing me in rare form. So let's get to it. We about to make things happen. Calling up my man right now. Got a couple notes we're going to go over. And we also going to discuss the late, great Eddie Van Halen, his impact on the industry. This is my homeboy TJ's favorite artist. We gonna jump into it. Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the moment you've all been waiting for. In this corner, weighing in at 195 pounds, he is from Long Island, New York, now hailing from Ithaca, New York. He is making his return to Earth from the hyperbolic time chamber, the challenger, Time Warp. Always wrestling with time. However, from here on and forever, our time is now.
Yo, yo, yo.
Hey, what is going on there, Ty? How you doing?
Guy. What's happening, Mr. I said, yo, Tree J Roden, a.k.a. Roadstar Roden.
In professional-wise, I like to be called Roadstar because that used to be the wrestling name back in the day.
Dog, I was saying, I think I gave you that name on the block, like 2000.
You did back
fucking 10.
Right around 2010, right around your birthdays when you came up with that name.
The crutches? The birthday I was on crutches?
Yeah.
I still got that photo. I'm going to post that shit.
Oh, you damn right. I still have that photo. I post it every year around your birthday.
It's good
every
times.
year in August, I'll usually post it.
It's good days. I got my dirty sock on the crutches. People are like, yo, why ain't you got a fucking shoe on? I'm like, because I was on crutches and my foot was swollen.
It was bad. It was bad that year.
Yo, my guy, I'm setting it off the only way I know possible. I would be having a beer bash for Austin 316, but I got the Steve El Segundo Broken Skull IPA.
Wow, how is it? I'm not a. It's going to shock a lot of people and probably you because times have changed. I don't drink no more. So very once in a blue moon, I would drink, but I'm not a big drinker.
TJ, it does not shock me. I don't know if you know, but like a couple weekends ago, I fell off the wagon on my sister's birthday and I got really reckless. And it's crazy because today I planned this podcast. I had this all ready, so I'm drinking these in exception. But I was digging through my grandma's stuff because we're having a yard sale at her house this weekend. I came across this One Day at a Time, Al-Anon, bro. And I think this is my father's AA book because in it, he has this letter from 1987, bro. And it says, to Mom and Dad, I'm trying to straighten my life out. Finally, I'm glad my whole family is behind me. Please read this if you can. It will help you cope better. I love you both. Always, Ziggy. And the only thing, Al-Anon, I haven't heard it called that, but I'm guessing AA, you know, Al-Anon, it's got to be. And I was like, maybe this is my wake-up call to get my life back on track. But I said, today's an exception. But I'm the same boat, brother. I don't drink no more. I don't get shit-faced where I wake up on my neighbor's lawn ass naked running around mastic in my underwear.
What turned me off from drinking was your 19th party when we were all hanging out. And I was going through a difficult time. I was doing a little bit of drugs. And I remember drinking 4 Locos, smoking a shit ton of pot.
Locos.
Yeah, the original Locos, original where they actually tasted good, not where they taste like shit.
Well, they always tasted like shit. It was a matter of the shit in it made your heart jump beats, bro.
Oh yeah.
You know.
I remember taking like 4 or 5 Percocets, smoking a whole bunch of weed, and drinking 4 of those, and I ended up sleeping on Kyle's lawn.
Yeah. Yo, bro, I remember the night very vague.
All thought I was dead.
Very vague. I remember like jumping on top of Matt Willinsey's car at Mobile doing the Limp Bizkit rolling dance, and I dented the roof of his car. I was like, rolling.
It was you, me, Matt Willinsky, and your cousin Eric. Matt took us up to the Mobile to go get all those fucking 4 Locos and beers.
Yo, dude, it was the times of the days. I was thinking about it the other day. I remember like chilling in your basement. We used to play like fucking SmackDown vs. Raw, whatever it was for Xbox. Like just come down the steps, bro. Everybody just like smoking some weed, playing with your fucking snakes. You had like fucking ball pythons, right?
Yeah, my mom still has all the fucking snakes to this day.
Still same ones? Same
my mom
snakes?
also same snakes.
Yeah, reptiles last long.
Snakes can live up to probably anywhere between 40 to 70 years. They really don't have a good time of it.
Reptiles in general, bro.
Well, think of this. A turtle, a regular box turtle that you can get at the lake, can live a regular box turtle can live up to 80 to 100 years.
Fucking insane, bro. Imagine being that slow your whole life.
And that's a little box turtle that only gets this big.
Yeah, imagine being that slow your whole life, though. You got to cross the street. You're like, I'm coming back with my lettuce in my mouth.
Damn right.
Just like, it takes you fucking 50 years to get from Ronkonkoma to Mastic.
You see, like, I'm one of those people, if I see the turtle in the road, I'm going to stop traffic and I'm going to put it to the other side because I've seen too many turtles getting...
Even snapper turtles. I've seen people help snapper turtles.
Oh, yeah. All you got to do is nudge them from behind.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. But what I really wanted to get into here, man, is when you recently hit me up about this, I know that recently your favorite, musician of all time probably passed away, Eddie Van Halen, the late great. And you were like, bro, we got to do a podcast. And I said, why? And you were like, Eddie Van Halen just passed away. And I remember back in the day, I stole your Greatest Hits album. I think you had the Volume 1 and Volume 2. Like, you left them in my car one day, and I had those shits for like fucking 4 years later, bro. Probably until I moved upstate.
Volume 1 tattoo.
That's what you're getting right now?
No, I've had this since I was 18. It's faded over the past 10 years.
What the fuck? No, it hasn't faded that much, right? I remember when you got that. Who did it, though?
My mom's boyfriend's daughter gave it to me for my 19th birthday.
I remember. Sherry, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's cool. She pops up in my time hop every now and then. It's about the same times when we was all chilling at the crib back in the day, the wild posts, like, come through, party on the block. Bro, we had a lot of parties on the block. There was a lot of parties on the block. And, yeah, man, but like I said, I remember when you gave me the CDs, and I was bumping them forever, and I knew who Eddie Van Halen was, but I was never really put on. Like, when you gave me those CDs and I listened to the Greatest Hits, I was like, damn, every song this guy did was Greatest Hits. You got 2 volumes of Greatest Hits. They're all hits. And
every single one.
He's not for
on those
everybody, but
albums
just
were the
even
only ones that they
my
played on the
favorite,
radio.
my favorite, since we're a wrestling podcast, Ready to Rumble, Running with the Devil, and fucking David
That's a good
Arquette
one.
and Sean, I forget his name. They're fucking singing with the nuns in the minivan on the way to visit Sal Bandini or some shit. Sal Bandini, you want to wrestle?
So, I just want to throw a couple of facts at you because not a lot of people know this. I watched a video from Gene Simmons from 1985
Okay.
when Van Halen just broke up and they just got together with Sammy Hagar, or when Sammy Hagar just did his first solo album, Can't Drive 55.
Yeah.
Gene Simmons and Ace Frehley from Kiss were the ones who founded Van Halen. They were in a bar in Burbank in 1976, and they were there talking to some dude from a record company, and Van Halen was playing on stage because it was one of those karaoke nights. So at the end of their first song, Gene asked them to talk with them. Ever since then, that's when Van Halen was thrown into the public.
Aha. All right.
Kiss found Van Halen. Van Halen wasn't found by a record company. They were founded by the legendary band Kiss.
I had no idea. And my friend Nico, I don't know if you ever met my friend Nico that I grew up in elementary school with, and his dad was a huge Kiss fan, like Kiss memorabilia. He was a drummer, loved Kiss. And I actually wound up going to one of Kiss's tours with my boy Steve, and it was, I think, Kiss and Motley Crue one year. And it was at Jones Beach, 2012. Was it Motley Crue? I think it was Motley Crue. And
It was probably during Motley Crue's last couple of runs.
Yeah, and I saw Motley Crue twice. I saw them with Poison, Motley Crue and
Never
Poison.
got to see him.
And I saw them with Kiss. And at Jones Beach, it was like, it started to rain towards the end of the show. And of course, they're doing rock and roll all night. And they're like, you think we're going to stop here? We're going to run it back one more time. And they did the whole song. And then they did the rock and roll all night, like the hook for 10 minutes straight while it's downpouring rain. Either you're sipping your beer and you're chilling in your poncho, or you're leaving Jones Beach to get to your car and be like, oh my God, I can't rock and roll all night. Like,
how about the Super Bowl when Prince played?
I haven't watched football in so long, bro. I don't even remember.
That was a year or two, I think, before.
I was so drunk during every Super Bowl, dude. I don't remember any of them except Janet Jackson's tits in 4th grade before I drank.
Hey, Justin Timberlake got to grab him first.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. JT, man, I'm hating on you, brother.
So, what was I going to say?
Talking about kissing.
Prince. Prince back did the Super Bowl a few years ago, and when he did the Super Bowl, it started to rain, and he ended up doing his song "Purple Rain."
In the rain, brilliant.
In the rain, and it was so cool that they had the stage all LED'd out in purple. So even the stadium up above, as it's raining, you're seeing purple rain come down.
With the rain in it, so the lights has the water strobe reflecting.
So it's an actual authentic feeling of the song.
I'm going to have to Google it.
Because Purple Rain was created for the movie that he did, Purple Rain.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you're noticing, I'm rocking my Bang Bang Cactus Jack, and it's also the anniversary edition to Ashley Massaro.
Yes, it is.
This was the one that
fellow Long Islander.
Yeah, Mick Foley put it up on Twitter, and it was like helping all the proceeds got an autograph. I got an autograph card from him, and all the proceeds helped her go to college, her daughter's college funds, tuition, and stuff for the future. God rest her soul, but. That was crazy news because I remember when she was from Long Island, she was doing the Diva search back in the day, and she threw her phone number on TV, and it was like 516 area code.
2003, 2004.
Bro, I was 12, 13 years old. I'm like writing that shit down, like, yo, I gotta call her, right? But you know how busy that damn hotline was if it was her real phone, bro?
Well, a little secret. During 2002 to 2003, I wasn't a big wrestling fan. I kind of got out of it.
Bro, I mean, we both phased out of it. Me and you were always on the old shit. You know, like we did get out of it.
I go to my aunt's one year for Christmas, Guess who is the next door neighbor? And they lived in Selden.
Who?
Ashley Massaro.
No shit. That's dope.
No shit. I got to meet her before she was even in the WWE.
Yeah, before the Diva Search type shit.
She used to babysit my cousin.
Cool shit. Yeah.
And since you mentioned Mick Foley, I myself
Bang bang. Three faces of
three
Foley.
faces of Foley.
Know it.
And if you check out my Facebook profile, J Roden, you can go through my profile pictures and you can see me inside of Mick Foley's house because I used to work on his house.
Excuse me. I think I remember you told me that. You know who else had a story like that? Mick Foley was such a great guy because Dave Stretz, bro, when he had like that tumor on his neck, we were in like middle school or high school. It might have been 7th, 8th grade, but you know Dave Stretz, right?
No.
You remember Greg Cabela? Castro?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Dave was friends with them. If you see his face, you might remember, but he had a tumor. He was out of school a lot. I went to elementary school with him, so I know, but like in 7th grade, 6th, 7th, 8th grade, like he was out of school a lot because he had this big growth here. He was in the hospital, and Mick Foley happened to be in the hospital, like visiting, I think, his son or somebody for something going that day. So he visited Dave in his hotel room, in his hospital room. And Dave was talking to him. Dave actually got to go over and hang out with his son Dewey. Like he's got pictures like chilling on his couch. I wound up meeting Mick Foley at an ROH event at Sports Plus about a year into Dave's treatment. Like him and Dave were cool at this point already. And I met Mick Foley. I got his autograph and I got pictures with him. And I was like, do you know Dave Stretz? And he goes, yeah, I'm actually going to a book signing in Riverhead shortly after this. And Dave's going to meet me there. And I thought that was cool as shit. I'm like, yo, here's a dude that Dave met in the hospital and you built this relationship with this outstanding guy. Read Have a Nice Day, his book. I just started reading it. Like, I didn't realize he went to Cortland. Like, he was going to Binghamton. That's up by me, bro. I'm by Ithaca. Like, he was bussing up. Like, stand-up dude, Mick Foley, bro. There's one of a kind that come along in a lifetime.
He is one of working for him in his house and actually getting to know him for over 3.5 years. He is probably one of the nicest guys you will ever meet in the wrestling
100%.
business. He doesn't curse. He doesn't. I'm being honest with you.
Here's where you're gonna you know how you're gonna hate him now. Agree to disagree. He does send a lot of messages towards your boy Trump though, and I know you're a fucking Trump trained fucking fanatic.
Well, you know, personal opinion when it comes to politics. I'm not a big politic guy. Me personally. If you're my friend, you're Democrat, your view is your view.
That's how it should be, bro. That's where the fucking world is going wrong is they want to live in a non-binary society when everything is left, right, Republican, Democrat, love, hate, hot or not, hot or flop, whatever.
We're Americans.
That's it, bro. American. I can if we're together united. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But I agree with you on that 100%.
This side should be fighting with this side.
Bro, I've just always said this should
independent party.
You can't go left and you can't go right. You got to go right up the fucking middle, make your own path, come together, shake hands, agree to disagree, figure out what you're going to work out instead of spreading the hate over bullshit. Because by spreading hate and ending relationships with people over something silly without any proof of anything to back it up or back up your convictions, like, what are you going to do, bro? You're going to accuse people of something and not even know the truth or not because it gets you the attention. It brings you into the spotlight, makes you look like a good person. You're holier than thou. Fuck out of here, bro. We're all people. We need to work together. Community is the most important pillar in the world.
I support what I support, and that's it. Everybody has their views. As long as you can get along, y'all can get along.
I hear you. I'm just messing with you because I did see him post. He posts a lot of Mr. President things, and I'm like, but it's dope, bro, that you could build a relationship with this guy.
You know, like, you have no idea. My car, I own 20 Trump flags. I drive around all day in Long Island with my Trump flags hanging out of my car. I personally,
I see you.
I like it.
You got the power tie shirt on. Oh, Lord. We are hashtagging that, and we are going to get views, ladies and gentlemen. You could get on your hate speech wave if you want. It's J Roden at Twitter.
Actually, My Twitter account just got banned the other day for calling Chris Cuomo of CNN fucking Frito.
Oh, Lord. What is your Twitter? I didn't even know you fucking had a Twitter.
My Twitter is at Roden Timothy.
All right.
And the actual name is LI Trump Edition.
Time for you to make a new Twitter.
Well, I'm banned for the next 6 days.
Here's what I don't get, though. Here's what I hate is the fact that the world with politics is that, like, the rappers used to be cool with Trump, and it wasn't until he was president that the media was able to shift the hatred towards him, right? And even I think some of the rappers started to believe the fallacies and be like, well, fuck Trump anyway because it's the cool thing to do. When in reality, Joe Biden said a shitload of racist shit in the past, and people are like, oh, well, now he's cool because they say he's cool. And it's like, okay, well, Trump's racist and Joe Biden's racist, but you're like, well, I'm going to take this racist over this racist. That makes fucking sense. Like, if you're going to hate both motherfuckers for being racist, you hate them both.
Well,
A tiger doesn't change his stripes. You know what I mean? Like, if you're a racist, you're probably a racist for life, unless you get older and you get to a stage of regret. But you usually don't wind up cool and then go racist later in life. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah,
it doesn't work. Like, I'm friends with everybody now. I hate everybody. It's usually I hate everybody and I pretend to love everybody, but I still hate everybody. You know, like, whatever. But that's just my logic. But what the fuck do I know? I'm just a podcast and rap and talking shit. Smacking, fucking, don't even know what I'm gonna say next. It's just fucking diarrhea of the mouth.
It's just coming out, bro.
That's
all
it,
right, bro.
Bro, like your boy, fucking Long Island Iced Z.
Vinny Russo.
Oh
no, Vinny Russo. Vinny Russo, who sits in Denver, California, Colorado.
Who the fuck
is smoke his weed.
Who the fuck is Vinny Russo? Russo.
Vince
Yeah.
Russo?
Fuck that guy, bro. I hate that guy.
Yeah, one of the biggest liars in the professional wrestling business.
But you know who I really hate, bro? I appreciate his art.
He takes the credit for the Montreal Screwjob, which we now know because of Vice Lands Beyond, the Dark Side
of the Ring, yeah.
Which we finally know that it was Jim Cornette's idea for the Montreal Screwjob.
Which brings me to my next thing. I hate that motherfucker too, bro. I love his work. He's just annoying.
I love Jim.
Annoying.
I love Jim as a manager and as a wrestling talent.
Genius.
As a person,
annoying as
he's
fuck.
A little screwed up.
I just heard his promos and I'm just like, shut up, Jim. But then I've heard promos that I'm like, all right, you go, Jim. But I'm just like, it's like a love-hate. Like, I love Jim Cornette. He is a genius. I will never take away his ability to run a show and do what he's got to do to make things happen. But when I see him give promos sometimes, I'm like, I just want to punch you in the face.
You want to see his best stuff, go to WWE's network and look up Smoky Mountain Wrestling.
I watched it.
And look at the ones where he is New Jack's manager.
New Jack is crazy.
New Jack was one of the most controversial wrestlers
ever
in existence, only for the fact that he actually took racism to a different level.
He brought it into the industry and ran on it.
He used the N-word in the industry. He used the white boy versus the black boy racism on there. And I can tell you one promo off the top of my head that he did. He was facing the Rock and Roll Express in Smoky Mountain Wrestling, and he comes down and says that, the Rock and Roll Express, calling us some chicken seed, homegrown seed spitting N-words. We're like, no. It was like, he had a bag of cotton while he was doing the promo. He sat there and he goes, and we don't pick cotton. He threw the cotton up in the air, and his tag team partner picked it up and started dying laughing in the middle of the ring, started blowing it all over the place.
He doesn't get enough credit for what he's done in the industry, bro. And I watched the Dark Side of the Ring with him, and he's a crazy son of a bitch. But at the same time, it's what brings the views in, and he's basing it on reality. Because as much as we want to think it doesn't happen in the world, it's been there, dude. It's been there. It's been in history, written and erased.
He told New Jack when he went out there for his first promo, he said, we're in the South. They don't like black people. Use that to your advantage. He became one of the most hated black people wrestlers in the South.
There was people that wanted to murder him, bro.
all the way up until ECW, where he was able to take his talent to ECW and turn that New Jack character even more crazier.
Bro,
'Cause now
people
he can
wanted to
get
really
it.
lynch him, bro. There was like real fans who would like
Yes.
wait outside venues to like try to lynch dude, I'm sure, you know? Like,
Yes.
I think that's what they
Jim
were saying in
Cornette
Dark Side of the
said a
Ring was it
story-
got violent some nights, bro, with him there because of the
Jim
shit he
Cornette
stirred
said on
up.
one of his stories, on one of his podcasts, he told a story that the same story with New Jack and the Rock and Roll Express. When the Rock and Roll Express and they were leaving, the crowd was so bad outside of the stadium that the Rock and Roll Express actually almost had to plow through the crowd to let New Jack and his partner
through.
get into their car and leave.
Yeah.
That's
But
how bad it
The
was.
thing about it, dude, what I love about wrestlers, and I mean, remember when we were growing up, like we got a lot of hate for watching wrestling. Excuse me. I don't know if you remember elementary school, but like kids used to watch basketball and football.
Back then, if you watched wrestling, you were a nerd.
But here's the
in the
thing.
90s.
Those were the best days of wrestling. Now wrestling became
Yes.
World Wrestling Entertainment, PG, and people who used to make fun of me back then watch it now, and I'm like, you are missing out. You're watching some bullshit. Roman Reigns, The Rock's cousin, do a Superman punch. You don't remember fucking none of the DX, like Suck It, the butt chops, the bra and panties matches, all the shit that fucking they used to do back in the day,
It's funny
bro.
how you say bra and panties match because today's topic
Is
there is a bra and panties match.
bro,
in there.
yo, let's kind of start to segue into that because we're gonna discuss.
I think that was a perfect segue.
I mentioned on the introduction that we were going to be discussing the 2001 Invasion. When I contacted you the other day at the park, I said, yo, I want to do Invasion. And the reason why is because we're at this turning point in wrestling history again, where it used to be WCW versus WWE, the Monday Night Wars for supremacy. And Vince McMahon came and crushed
And he conquered and he took WCW and ran it into the ground.
I took WCW.
Squeezed the life out of him and I just fucked him with my fist.
But
What not a lot of people know is after Vince took over, all these independent wrestling promotions started becoming a lot bigger. So one of the biggest ones that I'm going to bring up is from is actually a WWE Hall of Famer as of right now, and former backstage and actually current backstage producer, Jeff Jarrett.
legend, Tennessee.
When Vince McMahon bought WCW, he fired Jeff Jarrett live on television. We all saw that. He said JEFF, JERTT is GONNE.
Really?
He's gone. Yes.
Okay, I didn't know.
So a year later,
I was kind of wondering where he went.
Jeff
He did the
Jarrett-
TNA.
Jeff Jarrett and his father created TNA, which is technically, and it's still, now it's considered Impact Wrestling.
Yeah, I've
now
seen it.
because now it's owned by Sammy Callahan and Don
I watch it
Callis.
for free sometimes on Pluto TV.
Axios TV on if you have cable.
Axios. I do Pluto on my phone. It's got like channels, old Nicktoons, fucking cartoons, Dexter's Laboratory and
Yeah.
shit. Like, but yeah, TNA. So
That's where all the older stars started to go, and that's where WWE started creating newer stars.
well, you're right because Sting
but-
went, Flair went, Hogan went, Angle went.
Yep.
I mean, the
Everybody
top
went.
talent, which is crazy because like Vince was kind of getting a monopoly on the industry at this point. Like TNA did break through,
That's
but
why when TNA got their first pay-per-view in 2003, it started their World Heavyweight Championship match was a former WWE talent known as K-Quick,
I know
who is now
Get
today's
rowdy.
R-Truth.
He was always K-Quick though in WWE too. He was getting
Yep.
rowdy.
Yep.
Doing moves,
But
dance,
when he
get
came
rowdy,
back in
low down
08,
dirty ass sleazy. Hey, suck a
when
tag.
he came back in 08, he came under the name of R-Truth.
Yeah.
Now in TNA, he changed his name to Ron the Truth Killing.
Yeah, Ron Killings. Well, I
He
think that
was the first WWE superstar to become a TNA World Champion.
which pisses me
Besides
off that
Jeff
it took
Jarrett.
which pisses me off that it took so long for him to get over because that dude is one of the top talents that WWE has today, especially with the 24/7 title. I don't know if he's still doing that. I haven't watched it in a while, but he's still doing that, and he's the most entertaining draw they have. So they should have put that guy over a long time ago, and he's been busting his ass for at least, I know, 15, maybe close to 20 years in this industry. I don't know. I remember watching him like early days, though, like you said, K-Quick when he was first coming out, bro. Before
Hardcore
R-Truth,
champion
before
for
Ron
almost a
Killings, before
long time.
TNA, like when he was with WWE the first time, he used
Yep.
to come out rapping his theme, like around the same era when John Cena was probably Doctor of Thugonomics. They were trying to do that hip hop
at
thing.
that time, he was already in TNA when John Cena
really?
became the Doctor.
So he was already prior to them then. Even he was prior to John.
Yeah, John Cena debuted June 27, 2001. And he debuted under against Kurt Angle. with
Regular.
the whole
He just
ruthless
I'm John
aggression.
Cena, ruthless aggression. Oh.
And smack Kurt
Yeah.
Angle in the face. Yeah.
But
it wasn't until 2003 after he faced after that one match he had for the United States Championship at the end of SmackDown, the Undertaker comes and shakes his hand.
Wasn't it
at the end
WrestleMania
of the
20
match.
when he won the U.S. title though? I thought he won it at a Big Show at WrestleMania 20.
No, it was before that because he still had the original gear on.
Oh, maybe he was retaining the title for the U.S. title at WrestleMania. 20.
Probably.
Or no, I think Big Show was the
it's a
champ, and then
long
John
time.
Cena took. I forget. It's been a while unless I go back and watch. I remember like watching it jumping on my couch when John Cena won because I was in 7th grade and he was my favorite. And Undertaker made his return after being buried alive by Kane that year, and it was like the dead man was back, and it was like fucking wrestling's great again, boys. It was like 04, 03, some shit, 03, 04.
03, right after WrestleMania 19, when Brock Lesnar beat Kurt Angle for the
Which
WWE
we are going to
title.
get on here and discuss, I think, WrestleMania 17, but I was at Grandma's doing a yard sale, so I didn't really have time to watch, and WrestleMania is a long pay-per-view, you know, I didn't have a chance to watch it.
Yeah, it's over 3 to 4 hours.
Yeah, this was 2 and 40, 2.5, a little over 2.5 hours, but back to that, like I said, like this was when Vince kind of monopolized the company and monopolized the industry. I mean, and aside from TNA, like they didn't get the recognition they deserved. For 19 years, WWE has pretty much had it on lock, grown as WWE Entertainment. And this was the first thing we've seen in the wrestling world where it was like this until last year when AEW broke onto the scene with Chris Jericho. Like you said, a lot of old stars went to TNA. Same thing. And Tony Khan did a brilliant job with this by bringing Chris Jericho on board because now he just had his 30th anniversary. Dude's a fucking genius, musician, travels the world. The charisma's off the charts.
Fellow Long Islander as well.
Is he really?
Manhasset, Long Island. His father played for the New York Rangers in the 70s as the goalie.
I thought Winnipeg. Was he born in Canada and then moved here?
He was born in Canada, but he lived his first 10 years here in Long Island. So
shit.
technically, he is considered a Long Islander.
He is technically, I think, probably the greatest of all time. And
Without a doubt,
I'll explain
including
why.
for his age.
I'll explain
his
why
age.
later, but let's jump into it because we set off this pay-per-view with opener is JR said, "The future of sports entertainment." And I wonder if he ever realized that he'd be involved nearly 20 years later still. And JR, it's the future of sports entertainment still, but you're working with a new company, AEW. And I mean,
Well, by God, let me tell you something. It's a slobber knocker.
that's just how we opened the segment. But then we go to Edge and Christian to set it off versus the Coalition, the Canadians. I'd say it was an
Lance
intense
Storm and
match.
Mike Awesome.
Yeah, Mike Awesome. I'd say it was an intense match, but I mean, you know, Edge and Christian and Storm are no joke. Mike Awesome is good, but he didn't really last on the scene that long.
Mike Awesome was a ECW star.
Okay.
He should have never left ECW. He was known as one of the greatest ECW champions next to Johnny Grunge. He is one of the best ECW champions.
I love how actually Christian with the spear, it was a power bomb, and then
Yes,
Christian with the
hit
spear.
the spear.
And I was like,
Christian
holy
hit the
shit,
spear
bro,
to
it's
win.
Edge. And I was like, brotherly love, the Brood, bro, stand together.
Yep.
Um,
Our second match, I was not a fan of. We had the referee from WCW. We had Nick Patrick
versus Earl Hebner.
major
Corny as
30
shit,
year
bro.
tenure.
Corny as shit. But
I honestly felt like the Iron Sheik and fucking Nikola Koloff fucking created this match because it was just a bunch of, you know, I've done professional wrestling.
Did you see Earl Hebner's spears, dude? It was like a shoulder charge, like he was Bobby Boucher.
It was a flying shoulder
Well, you got to
spear,
think,
yeah.
how old was Earl Hebner when he had this match? And you got to give the dude credit just for doing it, you know?
Well, hold on. Now, here's a conspiracy I'm going to throw in there. Remember, Earl Hebner had a brother,
I had no
and
idea.
both of them were referees for the WWE.
Okay.
So both of them used to do what the Bella Twins do now is called Twin Magic.
Roll in and out.
So roll in and out. So how do we know that was Earl and not his brother?
You're right.
Because they're twins. They look identical.
Well, here's why I thought it was corny, because you got two referees wrestling each other. When refs are, no
And it
offense,
ends up turning into a lumberjack match.
refs are super pussies, bro. They get smacked in the face and they're laid out for 10 fucking minutes. You do a fucking move to them in the game and they're out for like 20 years. You hit them with a chair and they're like, I'm going to lay here for 10 years. So, I mean, refs are pussies. And I mean, you're slapped and you're laid out, bro. Like, what are you doing?
So the best part, what I thought, the way how they ended the match, because it sucks so bad, is that Mick Foley had to come down and tell the WCW referees to get out of there once they started beating up Earl Hebner. And then at the end, Earl Hebner hits Nick Patrick with the shoulder tackle and then pins him. And then at the end, Mick Foley pulls out Mr. Sacco and puts it down WCW's throat. I think that was the best way to end that, because it was horrible.
I think Mick
This
Foley
pay-per-view was garbage in general.
No. I disagree, because Mick Foley for the ref, I was dead, and you know, like, it was kind of corny shit, but like with that weird ass clothesline spear, like it was bowling shoe ugly, as JR called the match. He literally quoted, "That was bowling shoe ugly." I don't know if it was the spear or the match or whatever, but it was
It's like
one or the
putting
other.
lipstick on a pig and telling it to go dance.
And then when Earl Hebner got out the ring, dude, no offense to the LGBT community, I'm going to get a lot of smoke for this, but it looked like they were having a gay sauna celebration holding up the ref, holding up Earl, like they were trying to hold him up. And it looked like, oh, we're all sweaty old men, like, whatever.
Exactly what happened when Triple H broke his quadriceps and both the referees are dragging him up the ramp.
I mean, yo, Mick Foley was giving Nick the dirty laundry when he pulled out Sacco, man. He was letting that shit all air out.
Mr. Sacco is let me tell you something. The guy who spends 8 hours in a wrestling ring and jumping around all day, you know he's keeping that sock ready for whoever's going down its throat.
Yo, the attendance after we came back from break from that match, it was like 17,964 in attendance. Whether it's bullshit or whatever, it was Cleveland, Ohio. I mean, they had DDP calling out Austin, which is epic, because I feel that could have been a super feud in itself. You know what I mean? Like,
you would have
DDP
had
versus
pretty
Austin.
much the upstart of WCW versus the mainstay of WWE.
100%.
Now, that match I can get behind.
I think that would have been a rivalry that would have went places. You got the Diamond Cutter versus the Stone Cold Stunner. Who's going to win? Who's going to take it? You know? And I don't know, man, but that's just my opinion. We move on. We had O'Hare and Palumbo versus the A.P.A. I initially had O'Hare and Palumbo for this match because from what I remember, I thought the WCW was dominating this, but apparently it was the WWE started with a squash.
This was tag team champions versus tag team champions.
Well, I mean,
the A.P.A. were the WWF tag team champions.
Aside from A.P.A., I mean, like, fuck the other two. I know they're super talented, like Chuck Palumbo came into this thing, but, like, I don't care. It's nothing to be obsessed with. I fuck with A.P.A. Like, Bradshaw was always dope. Ron Simmons, damn! Like, I fucked with the A.P.A. heavy. They always had their cigars, their card games going. A.P.A. took the W on that. I'm happy to see them take the W on that. I think they should have took the W on that.
W's all day.
Then we moved to X-Pac and Billy Kidman. I had Billy Kidman predicted out the jump because I like I said, I remember it being WCW squash and WWE, so I thought WCW was going to take the early rounds. It wound up flipping. But Billy Kidman was one of my favorite in WCW, mostly because he had Tori Wilson's sexy ass fucking everywhere he went. But I mean,
the only professional wrestler to ever say that he slept with Tori Wilson and still says it to this day.
and it's a fact because as old as he's looking now, she's still looking bad as fuck. He could have the pop belly.
He's a backstage producer.
Yeah, I know.
WWE.
I've seen him.
Promos.
I've seen him. But, I mean, this was epic because at the time it was two guys from two companies, first time working together. I mean, you have X-Pac and Billy Kidman, both amazing, like, acrobatic athletes, you know, that could do. I mean, you had the double X Factor thrown in there. Kidman counter from a power bomb into, like, an X Factor almost. Then high flying into a counter X Factor into X-Pac. The Bronco fail into the shooting star press. And I mean...
Yeah, the nut check going into the Bronco bust. Going into the Bronco buster.
And that was like... And like I said, Billy Kidman was one of my favorite because... Plus Tori Wilson. Oh, Lord! I remember when I had her Playboy, me and my cousin's Estro. Estro and me, I had a spy case, bro, suitcase, and the thing was, the password was 619101. Obviously, Rey Mysterio, John Cena, word life. And this is going back to 03, 04. I think it was 03. I had Tori Wilson's Playboy I bought from Castro and his dad, and I wound up trading that to him with another $10. I had to save up lunch money for a week to upgrade to the Tori and Sable issue, March 2004. Oh, Lord. And just to see them laying there like, oh, the boobies. Like, I was Jerry the King Lawler at 13, you know what I mean? Like, puppies! Oh, you know, like, fucking every boy's dream. Like, I got a Playboy, got a spy case, lock this shit up. They never gonna guess the codes. Not my birthday. But, hold on. We're gonna pause here. We're gonna take a segue to introduce you to our sponsors of today's show. And it is not really, but we're gonna give a promo to El Segundo Brewing Company for, Steve Austin's Broken Skull IPA. This is a hell of a goddamn beer.
And if you need to drink a goddamn beer, you go get yourself some of Stone Cold's personal Broken Skull IPA, brewed in front of the finest brewers with some of the finest hops. Got a great taste. And give me a hell yeah.
Hell yeah. And don't forget to miss Broken Skull Sessions on WWEnetwork.com.
Be sure to check out Broken Skull Sessions. Check out my man Time Warp on his new podcast, Our Time Is Now. And that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so.
On point like the old days. I'm starting to lose it, but back in the day, my vocal cords changed. I used to have that shit. And Macho Man, ooh, yeah, you need a little excitement. Step into a Slim Jim. Ooh, Miss Elizabeth. Ooh, I can't do it no more, bro. My vocal cords, a lot of smoking cigarettes.
Let me tell you something there, Timey.
Let me tell you about what curiosity killed the cat.
That you are the cream of the crop, the creme of the creme. You are everything.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Working on it, bro.
You're gonna snap into a Slim Jim.
Working on it, man.
Catch me in Spider-Man. I play Bonesaw McGraw.
Hey, Spidey, come down here. Let me sling some webs to your woman, Mary Jane. I'm gonna smoke some Mary later. Ooh, yeah.
But fucking Raven and William Regal is next on the card, and to be honest, bro,
This is ECW now.
I always hated William Regal. Not gonna lie, always hated
The game is
him.
changing when it comes to the brands. So now we got ECW versus WWF, and what really didn't surprise me in this match, even though Raven won,
Yeah.
how come there was no weapons?
Yo, why didn't William Regal bring the fucking brass knucks he keeps tacked in his balls?
I don't understand. You know, like Raven always comes out with a shopping cart full of shit.
Or the garbage can at least, yeah. Garbage can full of fucking
Always.
plywood. Yo, here's the thing though. I've always hated William Regal, but his book was great. I don't know if you ever read it. I do not remember what the title is called, but I read his book. I bought it on Kindle, and I read that shit. And aside from hating him, in the ring and doing his whole gimmick, the book was enlightening because it taught him about his earlier years and how he built a wrestling ring in his backyard with like plywood and bed sheets and shit, and that's how he practiced. So he hustled his ass off to get to where he was. He grinded, and it just gave me a respect for the man outside the business, because we see people on the screen and you tend to hate him, but then you love him behind the scenes. Like, I hate John Cena because he's a goody-goody. He just wrote a child's book. He signed it. And I seen the ad pop up on Facebook, and I'm like, man, I always hated this guy on TV, except when he was Thugonomics. I loved him. But later on, as he became more kid-friendly, I was like, I always hated him, but this guy is a fucking genuine golden dude. They do not cut them from the same cloth as that man anymore, you know?
What the company did with John Cena, they turned him into the modern-day Hulk Hogan.
But he's a very
without
good
the
businessman,
American flag,
and he
the
does it
red
because
and
he
yellow.
genuinely wants to do it, though, bro. Like, it's not because, like, the industry told him to do it. It was because he said, yeah, I'm going to be successful doing this, but I want to do it. Like Make-A-Wish record setter for Make-A-Wish Foundation. Over 500 something Make-A-Wishes last time I checked, probably 1,000
Do you know that
now.
in every WWE event, and I've been to 5 in the past 3 years, there is always a "Let's go Cena, Cena sucks" chant, even when he's not there.
Because you love to hate him, bro.
Okay,
You hate him or love him.
He is what I got to see him at the Hall of Fame where he got the induction, where he inducted the kid for the cancer or whatnot. I got to see him for that, and for the first 10-15 minutes when he came out, we were chanting "Let's go Cena! Cena sucks!" for the entire time.
Yeah,
that he was out, and he sat there and he ate it up, and he loved it because that's the energy that in professional wrestling, he is known as, we want him to turn heel. We want him to be the bad guy again. But
I loved when he did that return of Thugonomics for whatever he did when he came out
against Elias. That was great.
That was hilarious.
That was great.
Hilarious.
When he returned it for The Rock in 11, I wasn't too happy about it for the fact that he was so rusty.
Yeah.
No, he was rusty.
Yeah.
It took him, and if you watch it live,
Cena was rusty.
Cena.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cena thrashing on The Rock.
Mm-hmm.
It's a live Monday Night Raw thing. Look it up, and you see how rusty he is.
Yeah.
The first 5 minutes of his promo, he sucks. And at the end, he ramps it up and gets better. So
it was a return to something that he probably might have not have wanted did, but he went through with it.
It's a character that he has pushed to have come back. But Stephanie and the other writers, and plus Vince McMahon.
They should, because hip-hop is now the biggest, culturally, it's the biggest genre, so they should bring it back. But
it is, but in their eyes, they're trying to push culture and diversity.
Yeah. But it is diverse.
Watch Vince McMahon in Beyond the Mat. He says it perfectly. We make movies.
Yeah.
So you're not,
that's what he always wanted to do, was separate the entertainment.
It's not wrestling. It's a 2 to 3 hour movie that you get to watch for free.
Pretty much.
So, so the only people who take it seriously now, in my opinion, because I've stopped watching WWE over the past couple of months. I watch all the internet stuff.
I'm on AEW kick, bro. I cannot lie. They are crushing it. And here's what I love, and I wanted to do this podcast months ago, bro, but I had so many scheduled up, and I didn't know if I was going to do 2, break them up, whatever, but AEW actually was the first ones who had the actual talent come out during this COVID and support their peers and colleagues by cheering. WWE just had the announcers in an empty arena. And I said, well, I get it. You're worried about spreading it, but you're all in the same place at the same time anyway. So you're sharing locker rooms, whatever. You're going to get it traveling with each other. So if you're going to get it, you're going to get it. But they actually had Billy Gunn and everybody cheering in the crowd, Dino Boy and shit,
they had
Jungle
the
Boy
wrestlers as the audience.
And it made the real effects. And it was cool. Then WWE did the same thing, but then they put the plexiglass up around to be extra safe. And then they went from that to the TV screens, which I think is stupid as fuck because it's digital. Oh, well, I'm not really here. No, hit your weed, bro. I'm fine.
I want to talk about that only for the fact that WWE had to buy that building and turn it into the stadium. That's not the NXT building that they've been doing all the previous shows out of. That's called the Thunderdome.
Yeah.
They built their own stadium that is strictly, and I mean strictly, for digital shows. So if you have the top tier membership of, so if you have the top tier membership on the WWE network,
you get to be on there.
That allows you to become a fan, and your face gets to be plastered on a.
I got the $9.99 subscription. They got another subscription on there now. That's cool, but that ain't the same thing, bro. I still fuck with AEW because they're still keeping their talent out there, and there's nothing like a real person to fill a void where a real person should be. As far as I'm concerned, they should have everybody out there. Managers, tech crew, if you're not on at that point and you're taking a break and you're rotating with Mark, who's in the video truck, get the other video guy out there who doesn't need to be there at the moment. Fill it with staff, employees, managers, so we can hear the real chants, I don't want to see some digital shit, bro. I do Zoom meetings for work, and you know how much this sucks? In the morning, getting up, having my coffee, hey, we could be sitting around our conference room desk and all associating and joking with each other, but that shit sucks, bro.
Hey,
and I get it. They're trying to be innovative.
Right, doing it.
They're a publicly traded company. They're innovative. I get it. But AEW, I think, is just shitting on them with fan interaction. Plus the way it used to be, like PG show. Like this is the show for people who grew up watching TV 14 WWE, like the Attitude Era. This is now for you. And they can do their PG thing. Keep it to the kids, which I got nothing hate against. But I take it as Kevin Nash saying the greatest line ever in a shoot with one of the things on YouTube. And he said, I cannot take a guy serious, a grown man serious. This is paraphrased, but very similar to what he said. Is I cannot take a grown man serious just standing there in the ring like, I'm gonna kick your butt. Like, it's not real to me.
I know the interview that you're talking about.
But then you go to the bus stop, and you got someone like, well, I fucked your mother or some shit. And like, bro, in 3rd grade, I had a Playboy. You know what I mean? Like, 3rd, 4th grade, I had Castro's dad. I was over there like watching him at his house. Like we had internet where we had to print pictures off of pinkworld.com or some shit, bro. We didn't have Pornhub. We had America Online, porn pictures, print this before mom and dad gets home, erase my history, you know? So kids know what it is. Like, you don't need to shelter them in this safe environment, safe space. Like,
no,
you got to learn to live and learn to grow as a human for what you're going to be faced with later in life. Your parents' job is to tell you what's right and wrong. So, like, that's how I look at it, is kids are going to know, bro. They learn from their peers in school. Like, we don't know what other kids go through at home, you know? So, I mean, Castro's dad was a city cop. He had Playboys. They sat next to the toilet. We viewed Playboys. That's what the fuck we did. So kids got porn hubs and they all got computers in their hands. Now they're seeing bitches shoving brushes into the places unknown, getting fisted and shit. And we're over here like, well, we can't say kick your ass on TV because fuck out of here. I told you I met Nash, right? I met Kevin Nash, bro.
I got to meet Kevin Nash once. I had to pick him up at an airport for a wrestling event.
Yo, coolest motherfucker ever, bro. It's in Elmira. Hockey. I think they just started doing hockey again, but he gets in the ring. He's like, they stopped selling beer. They don't got their liquor license, talking shit. But I met him before the show and sat down at the table with him. I had just broken my hand for the second time in my job, so I just got the pin taken out, and I drew a picture with I drew a picture of him for him to sign, but it came out like shit, bro. It doesn't look nothing like him. But I had my pinky like this, all fucked up when I drew it. And he signed it, sat down with him. I was like, yo, how's Scott? And he goes, yo, Scott's good, you know, this, that, third. Like, just smokes now, don't drink. And I'm like, hey, man, that's cool. Like, I was like, he was a major influence for me to try to get sober. I said, this is my first sober event. That was the first wrestling event that I went to sober. And I've been to a lot of WWE events in Binghamton, you know, Nassau Coliseum, MSG over the years. And I said, it's my first sober event. I feel weird.
Meet Scott Hall?
I wish. That's my dude. You see the razor curl? Yo, razor. But nah. But so I was talking to him about that, and he goes, he goes, he's cool, whatever. Give him the little wolf pack thing, take a photo, go to the next thing, and I bought second row seats. Me and my mom. I took my mom, and we're sitting there, and all of a sudden, like, he starts to get up now, and he's about to go backstage, and you know how they do it in the small arena, so. He's walking past, and I was videotaping. I was like, yo, now that's what I wanted, bro. I wanted to see your height. Like, sitting in the chair is cool, but, like, I wanted to see your height. Like, I'm a tall Viking. I'm 6'2", 6 some shit, 6'1", 6'2", whatever, 3 maybe, I don't know. But I want to see your height. So a dude was like, I'll take your picture, and I like stood next to him. And he had his little bottle of wine. He was going back to sip his little wine, and he put his hand like he's like, all right, put his hand like right on the back of my neck, like choke slam like this, bro, and his hand like wrapped around like half my neck, and I was just like, I was standing next to him, and I'm like, there's not too many dudes that can make me look short, but Kevin Nash can make me look short. And let me tell you, dude, as much heat as he gets in the industry for being the way he did what was best for business, best for his family, did everything he had to do. That dude is the most chillest, down-to-earth human being. If you respect somebody, they will respect you back, and that is bottom line. And for me to go there and tell him, like, yo, this is my first sober event, do that, chill. And then even though I already paid for the meet and greet, for him to do this, like, little extra thing outside of the money that they always say he was greedy for. Mm-hmm. They always say, oh, yeah. Well, I just walked up, yo, that's what I want, the height. All right, let's take another pic. Stand next to me then. What's up? You know, like, that was stand-up shit. Scott Steiner, I saw Big Papa Pump. I saw Sabu.
I never got to meet Sabu. I was supposed to go to an event where he was there.
Papa
Never got
Pump,
to meet
Papa
him. He
Pump was
ended up
definitely
calling
hitting
out.
on my mom. Papa Pump like came down the ring. I was like, he gave me a pound it like when he was coming down.
Weird.
It's not weird. It's
Scott
big.
is
It's
a
fucking
we-
Scott
no,
Steiner.
He's a weird person.
Oh yeah, 100%.
He's a
genetic
weird
freak.
person in real life.
His
He's
charisma was insane. Always on the mic, and also though, but like I said, he saw my mom there, and it was like me and my mom. He knows that it's not my girlfriend. She's clearly older, probably around his age. And he was just like, "Hey, what's up, doll?" Like he gave her like a dap, and I got it on video, and I was like, "Yeah, ma, you just got big Papa Pump dapped up." Like maybe he didn't say doll, but it was something like that. Like, "Hey, babe, hey, sweetie," something like that. You know, I was like, "Oh, you hitting on my mom? You fucked her. I gotta put you in the Steiner recliner, put your ass to sleep." But nah, fuck it. They were all cool dudes, and these are legends who set who paved the way, dude. You know what I mean? And they both get a bad rep in the industry. The Steiners, people they bullied me. Well, you're a fucking grown man wrestler. You're gonna let another wrestler bully you?
He pushes steroids on you. You know, he wants you to conform to his lifestyle.
Here's the deal,
because
dude.
it's
Here's the
way
deal.
it works.
I'm a wrestler. You're not gonna force me to do anything I want because I'm a grown man. Okay, you're gonna kick the shit out of me. You're gonna beat my ass. Good luck trying. You throw two lions in a fucking cage. It don't matter, bro. Who's gonna walk out, Simba or fucking Scar? You don't know.
Well, hold on.
You might kick
Being
my
in the
ass,
professional-
but I ain't going back down.
Being in the professional wrestling business, there is a code of etiquette that the rookies do have to do certain things that the veterans ask them to do.
I'm not gonna do steroids because you tell me to do it or snort coke because you tell me to do it, though. Whatever.
Not as peer pressure or stuff like that, but you know, like getting their bags from the fucking airlines or the bus.
Yes,
or
like
stuff like that.
hazing shit,
You know,
bro.
like,
College shit. I get
but-
that. I get that. That's
But
everywhere.
I'm gonna tell you a fucked up story, which is gonna lead us back into the pay-per-view because it does involve a couple of the guys. It was Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, and X-Pac, and they were in the bar. On the side, on the other end of the bar. Now this is back in pre WCW days. You know, back when the whole NWO was big. This was back in the early 90s. The Smoking Guns and, what was it, Road Dogg, who at the time was Jeff Jarrett's
Billy Gunn.
the roadie.
Yeah.
They were at the other end of the bar having drinks. So since Kevin Nash, X-Pac, and Scott Hall, they were the clique, so they were the veterans, they were sending them drinks. So back then, the rookies had to send them back drinks. And then the rookies had to pay for it. So they would send them shots of Jack, and they would have to send them back shots of Jack. Finally, a half hour into the whole drinking and everything, because they must have did like 4 or 5 rounds, Kevin Nash and Scott Hall tipped the waitress like $100 and tell her every time they send us our drinks, you just give us Diet Coke and water. To make it look
Get
like
these motherfuckers
the
drunk,
Jack
but
and
that was the
vodka.
ribbon shit, bro.
Yeah.
That's cool
So
though. That
they-
I'm not worried
so
about.
Fucking with you, that wise, you gotta do.
That's cool. But we did that shit, bro, in high school. I made Rob
Oh, yeah.
Cosidente sit on a fucking milk carton on his brand new Islanders hoodie. You know what he did? He got up and threw the shit out. And he's like, my mom paid $80 for that, bro. And now I feel guilty. So what did my bitch ass do? I go, you're my best friend. I go in, take it out the trash for you. And everybody thinks I'm a garbage picker. But you know what? I don't give a fuck what any of these motherfuckers think because they ain't going to be around in 15, 20 years. He still is to this day one of my best friends. And
Thank
I went in
God.
and said, I felt bad I did that. But it was funny as shit. Make you sit on milk in front of the whole cafeteria. Ha ha. Me, Phil Francavilla, laughing at his bitch ass. Like, like me and Phil are laughing, bro. Rob went, he got a tray. We took a chocolate milk, put it underneath his hoodie. This motherfucker came, sat down, starts eating his mozzarella sticks, whatever it is. Me and Phil just laughing. Phil's face is turning red. Rob's like, what, guys? What's so fucking funny? Why are you guys laughing so? You fucking assholes. He just slammed his fucking hands down, stood up, lifted his hoodie up, bro, and there was a chocolate milk crushed under his hoodie. His ass was getting wet. He's like, you guys are assholes. Threw his fucking hoodie out, bro. I felt so bad I had to get it.
Oh, Oh, the poor kid.
I was like, I'll wash it for you. But you know how fucking funny that was in the moment, bro? Middle school, 8th grade. What are you, 13, 14, 15 years old? Testosterone just pumping, like, I'm gonna roast this motherfucker. That stuff is cool, bro. Ribbing like that is cool.
Yeah.
But you're not
That's
gonna
just
threaten me
funny.
to do drugs or shoot up or buy shit
no.
from you, because I'll fuck you up. And if I get fucked up, oh well.
A lot of the guys who do the steroids, they're just a bunch of talk because they lost their ability to actually throw their hand and actually really fucking defend themselves
That's
a
it.
long time ago.
Bro, but Scott,
You know,
I'm not gonna lie though.
once you
Steiner
start
was funny
doing
as
this,
shit.
That's it.
Steiner was funny as shit.
Once-
He faced this like little
He
nerdy
was.
guy, bro. They brought it through the crowd, and then like he kicked him in the balls at one point, and he's like, "Ref!" I got it on video. "Ref! He kicked me in the balls. Kick me in the balls, ref!" But yo, he put him in the Steiner recliner for the 1, 2, 3.
Beetlejuice that did that to him?
I wish. What happened?
Wasn't that Beetlejuice that did that to him?
I don't know. I when Nash came out, Nash had just had the knee surgery, so he was there more for appearance because he couldn't wrestle.
Yeah,
I
because he
wish I could have seen a couple of those big boots and those fucking knees in the turnbuckle, those heavy knees. But he came out, like I said, he chilled, he was hanging out, and it was just there to see him, to hear the NWO music play, bro, and I'm right here by the barricades, second row, and just see him walk. It was like, I could never afford these seats if it was WCW or WWF back in the day, but just seeing it now makes up for my childhood. Giving a pound to Big
I
Papa
got to meet
Pump
Bret
as he
Hart
comes
in
down,
person.
you know?
I got to meet Bret Hart in person right here in Long Island,
Oh,
actually
yeah,
about
Bret
5
Hart's
minutes
cool.
away from my house.
I met Kane at
got-
Nassau Coliseum in 3rd grade, and I got a picture of him shaking my hand, and my hand is like taken over by his hand, because in 3rd grade, my hand was like this big. He's like shaking
Now,
my hand.
was that Kane masked, or
Masked.
Kane no mask?
Mask Kane.
Okay.
Yeah, bro, I'm talking 3rd grade. I was 97.
Oh, 3rd grade? That's the 90s.
98,
That's the
99,
90s.
some shit, you know, like 3rd
Yeah.
grade. So like, but yo, speaking of Kane, bro, we're gonna move into this 6-man tag. Big Show, Billy Gunn versus Albert versus Sean Stasiak, Chris Kanyon, and Hugh Morris, who are 3 athletes I could really care less about. Hugh Morris, I did watch WCW like on the network, and
Hugh Morris
he's funny.
used to be the WWE trainer. His real name is Bill DeMott.
It is okay, because I like the name Hugh Morris,
Yep,
like
that's
it's
Bill
humorous.
DeMott. And in WCW, he was known as Huge Erection.
Well, he's probably one of the only ones I care about on that team, and I thought WCW was going to win because it was a squash, and apparently I was right. It was a stolen victory. They did win.
Yep.
I forget what happened, but they did win.
Sean
that.
Stasiak hits Billy Gunn with the inverted DDT, and Hugh Morris picks up the pin.
This guy knows, bro. I was watching it like when I was like 2 a.m, bro. I'm watching it, and I'm like, let me just take notes. But so the
next
inaugural
match,
ball.
I'm a little.
So here we bring it.
Hold on. We got another match. I don't want to leave this guy out. He's actually in my family tree.
Wait, who?
The next match is Taz from ECW.
Oh shit! No, we have a
versus
couple.
Tajiri.
Yo, we have a lot more matches. My fault. I put away the other. You're right. Taz versus Tajiri. I had Taz picked. Tajiri wins. Poison
Yeah,
Mist.
Funny thing, Taz, he has his own podcast. I watch it.
Yeah, I do too.
He is my uncle on my brother's side of the family.
No
to,
shit.
To family tree. Yes.
My favorite
I got to meet him
podcast
5 times.
is Raven, even though he hasn't done it in a while. It used to be my favorite wrestling podcast, but Taz is on your relation, huh?
Yep.
That's crazy.
Taz is 6'6", and he's 230 pounds.
That dude Brian Cage is
And-
working with is an animal, dude. Animal.
Animal.
Like Dave Batista prime animal.
Yeah, and Dave was big back in the day.
I see Dave now. He's still in great shape, but I mean, like when you look at Dave, like when he was just the animal Batista, like back in the day,
Yeah,
the
he
roll the
looked a
shoulders, the
lot
Leviathan when he came out and did like, oh, what the fuck?
Yeah, he
But
was huge.
So yeah,
He slimmed down a lot.
I'm very happy you brought that up, and I didn't skip to the next one because after that match
It's
was
420 break right now because we got RVD
versus Jeff
versus
Hardy,
Jeff Hardy.
who
the
very rare to
hardcore
see Jeff
title.
Hardy as a hardcore champion, bro. I was like, what?
Very rare.
But that
Very
that
rare.
match, let me tell you, that match was super intense. I mean, both insane athletes. Jeff Hardy and Rob Van Dam, what more? That would have been a rivalry to go down in ages, not just a pay-per-view, bro. The high flying, the
They
dips,
had
the
a
dives,
couple
the
of
rolling, the
matches.
ladders, the chairs, the tables, the everything. I don't know why they never made that happen.
They fought for the Intercontinental title. They fought for the Hardcore title. They've also fought for the tag team titles while Matt and Jeff were in the last stages of the Hardy Boys, and Kane and RVD were going around as the tag team champions on Raw.
Okay. Dude, I don't know how the fuck you remember all this shit, because without going back to the WWE Network, I'm like, was I smoking weed in 5th grade? I don't remember this shit. But I definitely was not smoking weed in 5th grade. But yo, RVD's actually still cool as shit to this day in real life, bro. He's like high stoner dude.
Massive
Like
pothead. He's on.
I'm waiting to smoke 5-star Kush or 5-star Frog Kush or some shit. Like, when's your growery coming out, dude? Like, we gotta get high, bro. We've been watching you since you were doing the Rolling Thunder fucking days. Let's get the Rolling Thunder OG going.
I want to fucking smoke an apple with him.
You know what I
That's
mean?
how he
Like,
smokes before his wrestling events. He fucking pulls out an apple, he stuffs it, and he
probably
smokes
like, listen, I'm a natural man. I'm gonna smoke a little weed, but I'm gonna get my vitamins. Take a bite of the apple right after smoking at the bit.
Stem it out, and you're all good to go. Pack that and go.
So fucking... Yo, so back to the bra and panties, bro. We have the first ever bra and panty tag matchup. Tori and Stacy versus Trish and Lita. Oh my God. I had Trish and Lita picked for this one because I just figured WWE girls. I was like, Tori's the Playboy girl. Well, she wasn't even in Playboy yet.
Rewatching it, I really wanted Stacy Keibler to pull through. Now, out of all these women,
oh, I wanted Tori and
two
Stacy.
that I found, even though they're all hot,
they're all smoking.
the two hottest ones, in my opinion, is Stacy Keibler and Lita. Lita with that red hair, for some odd reason, that is a massive thing.
Yeah, when I was a kid, like, we were stereotyped into like the blondes.
Stacy could just go on and on and on.
Yo, when I was a kid, we were stereotyped into the blondes, and I loved the blondes. And Lita was hot, but she always wore like the fucking UFO pants. Aside from her thong hanging out, I was like, yeah, that's cool, but like, I need to see legs and shit.
Hot, you know,
I loved Stacy for legs.
Hot.
Yo, but to me, Stacy was legs.
Because why Lita was rocking the fucking Fred Durst attire from Limp Bizkit before Limp Bizkit was even a thing.
No, not before she was a thing. They were still a thing, bro, but she was rocking
No, the UFO pants.
Oh, but I'm saying Bizkit been around since 96, dude.
But all Limp Bizkit's videos.
Oh,
from
yeah.
the early 2000s.
The girls. Yeah.
The girls.
Well, that's what she was hot. She was probably in the Rolling music video. Move in. That was probably her. Move in. Move out. The bitches rolling.
She is the biggest whore in the wrestling business.
But
she has slept with over 20 wrestlers.
Lita?
Yeah.
Bro, she's hot. I appreciate her much more that I'm older now, because I thought she was hot, but like, I loved the skimpy revealing shit when I was younger. So like, I'm older now and I'm like, she's hot.
She's a MILF.
Oh my Lord. She's still gorgeous to this day.
She's a MILF. She is a MILF.
And she does a lot of ASPS, what is it? ASPCA stuff with the animals. And I'm like, you melt my heart. Yep. I love you.
She also has a rock band she's in, so she's also touring, doing rock and roll and shit. She's in like a punk band or whatnot.
Is she? I got to check that out.
Yeah. Her real name is Amy Dumas. Amy Dumas.
Yeah, no, I know that. But yo, when Trish rolls over Tori and rips her pants off, bro, at 10 years old, bro. 10 years older, however I was at this point, 2001, I was born 91.
That is watching free softcore porn.
This was every boy's wow moment, bro, is what, you know, I mean, like, this was, you're right, this was like PG Playboy, dude. I mean.
Yeah, it's softcore porn that you can watch and wrestle.
Bro, before it was huge internet days, I mean, bra and panty matches were like the holy grail of... that you could sip and get fed your daily dose of testosterone as a young kid growing up. That's the best way to explain it, bro.
You get your boobs and your muscle.
I mean, hate me or love me for saying it, but I mean, thanks to Tori and Stacy for taking that L, because we got our W's for Woodies from that.
And still to this
as
day,
a young kid, bro, you get when those bro, just they were gorgeous. They had amazing like fucking goddess bodies, bro, at that point. And I mean, Tori was always a fitness model, but she was always my favorite and shit. Like I said, the Playboys, how much lunch money I had to save to get those things. And they were just fucking all amazing. But Stacy, like those legs, bro, I was always a legs guy. Just wrapped those legs around me, and she drove me crazy with those cheerleader legs. And when she was like in the promo, she's like, "And Tori, I got legs from here all the way up to here." And I was like, "Well, what are you gonna do with those legs?" I'm just being a man.
You know,
hate me later.
I got to see her be inducted into the Hall of Fame. Her inducting Tori Wilson into the Hall of Fame.
Oh yeah,
at the Barclays Center a couple of years ago. Yeah, I was there.
No.
So for her to come out now, Barclays Center can hold 30,000 people at a wrestling event. Probably about 22,000 were there. Let's say about a quarter of them were children. A quarter of them were women. 50% are men over the age of 25 and know who all these wrestlers are.
Oh, yeah.
Stacy Keibler comes out to induct Tori Wilson into the Hall of Fame. And when she comes out, you heard air horns. You heard whistling. You heard legs.
Cat calls, all that shit.
That's all you heard around the entire arena. And when she started talking, everybody started shouting, "Lift up your dress! Lift up your dress!" Because she was wearing this.
She's got legs. She knows how to use them. Now just show them to us.
She had this dress that went down and followed about 6 to 8 inches behind her. And we're all chanting, "Lift up your dress," so we can look at the legs.
Damn right, bro. That's how I would be, too.
To this day, she still looks hot as hell.
Bro, she's a mom now, and I see her on Instagram, and I'm like, oh, Lord. Oh, Lordy, girl, you is fine. Like, hey, listen, I know you were hot as shit, and you had guys throwing at you back in the day, throwing themselves at you, but, like, now that you're older and you probably don't have a lot of guys throwing at you, like, can I make up for, like, the little 13-year-old horn dog boy that I was growing up? I like MILFs. I love MILFs. You're a mom. That's cool. I want to be a dad. Like, what's up?
You know, I always had this fascination when I was to make it big into the WWE. I would get to meet some of the women that I've always had to fantasize about. And one of them was Mickie James. And still to this day, even though she's 44, she's a mom and everything,
bro,
she is.
Trish Stratus got to be older than her, though. Trish Stratus got to be older than her.
Trish Stratus is 46, 47.
Oh, okay, so they're close in age, but they're both hot.
She's still in good shape. Yeah, all the old women are.
Oh, yeah.
All the old women are. You know, Gail Kim. Gail Kim wrestles in Impact. And you know, like Gail Kim, you know, her breasts are, you know, surgical and stuff, but everything else on her body is real.
Yeah, yeah. Most of them are now, but they're all bad.
Yeah, no, they still look fucking good as hell. The only girl who looks shit is Sunny.
I seen interviews, and
even now
she was very much before my time. Like, she was with Shawn Michaels in the earlier days, so like early 90s.
When she was like 22, 23, and we were only like
still
3 or
cute.
4.
She was very cute, and and she does like porn now or something, right? Is that right?
She's in jail right now, but
is she really?
Yeah, for a warrant out for her arrest for violating probation.
I saw her recently on a couple shoot interviews, and it's weird you say that because I see a lot of people, you know, talk a lot of smack about her. She has a book that I do want to read, and I will read it eventually. But I think from what I saw last, I'm a man, I'm a dog, and like Cactus Jack, I like to bang, bang, and I would probably still tear that shit up like I was Shawn Michaels in 96.
If you want my personal opinion, go watch her porno, and then you're going to regret ever saying that.
I'm just fucking around, bro, but I'm saying, I saw, from what I saw.
Porno, it'll crush all your childhood dreams.
I don't think so, dude. I don't know. I think I show her what a young bull is about, and she could be the Matadoris, if like they add S's in Spanish. I don't know, Matadoris, and I will plow through that shit like the bull that I am.
I've seen it. It's not good. It's not good at all. The only highlight of it is when her boyfriend goes to put it up her ass and she farts. That's the highlight of the fucking video.
Yo, well, here's the thing, bro. Because
You get a good laugh out of it.
China's sex tape wasn't good either. Like One Night in China, like I wasn't a huge
Which
fan
one?
of that. Like her and X-Pac,
Which
the
one?
whole fucking thing. I guess I don't know. The first one, the original
horrible.
one.
Yeah, horrible.
Yeah, but it was a sex tape, and like, dude, here's the thing. Like, sometimes when you're on
They were
camera,
all drugged up. They were on cocaine.
yeah, but I don't know if you've ever,
drunk,
I don't know if you've ever tried to
weed.
like make a sex tape with your girlfriend or anything. But like, when you're
I'm
on
gonna keep
camera,
this closed.
when you're on camera, like I'm a performer and I love to perform, but on camera it's weird because like it's like I'm being watched. So like it's not in your natural habitat. There he goes. But it's not in your natural habitat, you know what I mean? Like you're not just taking them down because you want to take them down, your animal instinct is kicking in. Like when you're taking them down on animal instinct, it's going down. When you got people watching or a camera watching, you're like kind of like, am I doing this right? Is everything's got to be perfect? Like you're under the spotlight now, so it's got to be like, oh, you might fuck up and do some shit wrong and oh, I can't change it, and anxiety. But like when I'm just smashing that pussy in the bed, bro, we going, but I'm on
just
camera,
getting it
not raw, like I'm still rap it, but like raw, like in the moment, just go for it. Versus like, oh shit,
Just
like
go.
there's a guy with a camera over there taping me. Am I good? Is this okay? Like you're thinking too much, bro, and that's not what sex is. Sex is animalistic. It's an animal instinct. You don't need the cameras and the shit to be watching. You just go to town, bro. You do you. The pheromones, does it smell good? Am I going? All right, I'm getting too much into it now. This is PG rated, folks. Not really. It's fucking TVMA, but
It's closer to NC-17 if you want to call it that way.
dude, my show is explicit thoughts with 3 X's all the way, bro. Even though I moved away from the EQ and I'm now Time Warp, I still keep it explicit. I'm still Mr. Triple X. And not triple X for sex, but triple X for smoking, drinking, never had sex as a straight edge like CM Punk. And then I struck out and I smoked, I drank, I had sex. No matter which side you are, back to the binary shit, on my side of the tracks, whether you a perfectly innocent soul or you struck out in life and you sinned all major 3 sins, we all won, brother. And that's it. That's all I care about. What you smoking over there? Cigarette?
Yeah.
Gotta quit those shits, B. Gotta quit those shits, man. But yo, those are the replica belts, huh?
Well, if you want to call them that, they're the kid-size belts.
It don't matter.
I have a whole collection.
Hey, it's a gold one and it's replica, dude. I'm not paying $400 for something I'm never gonna wear if I could buy the kids' gold replica for $200. Like it's in a trophy case in my room in my studio, you know.
I paid $160 for each of these.
I have a $150 one. It's gold plated and it's the title that Brock Lesnar won, the original WWE title in like 03 or some shit, 04, 05.
Yeah.
And it's from
the
Niagara
undisputed
Falls, though, because I went to Niagara Falls with my grandma. She got me the Tyler W nameplate on there, and then it's got the Canadian flag where the world is, like where the world should be. It's the Canadian flag because it's Niagara Falls.
Mm-hmm.
And dude, it's a kid-size belt because I bought it when I was like 13 or 14. Like I was still a skinny young buck, and I don't care because it's just sitting in a replica thing on my shelf and it's memorabilia, dude. I don't care if it's adult size, kid size. Like, I'm not the WWE champ. Don't make a difference to me.
I have over 15 belts.
Bro, I remember back in the day
over
you had
past
that
year,
you
I've
had
been
that
collecting.
you and RJ had the wrist spinner USA title. And we used to wrestle for that shit on the island, bro. We used to have the fucking matches and wrestle each other. Like, who's taking the title home for the weekend? And I had the Canadian belt back then. That was the Canadian one that I had back then, bro. With my nameplate, and everybody tried to take it from me. And I used to put like fucking RJ and Justin in the figure 4, make them tap out, and I would do it for real, bro. That's probably why I got bad knees to this day. God said, you fucked up your friend's knees. I'm gonna fuck your knees up.
Give me 10 seconds. I got to get my charger.
Yeah, go get your joint. I'm gonna see what we gonna segue right here, right quick. Inaugural Brawl.
The Inaugural Brawl to end it all. And if anybody is keeping count, the score is WWE 5 and WCW 4.
Oh, it was 5? I thought it was the other way around. Okay.
No, because WCW and ECW were together, so their wins tally together.
So they go out with okay.
So it's 5 versus 4, and that's gonna. I'll be right back before
No doubt, bro. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, man. Don't worry about it. Get what you need. We gonna jump into this right here. That was super fast, bro. I was literally like gonna like start talking shit into the camera, and I was like, he's already back.
You can talk shit. I don't care.
But yeah, bro. Honestly, so what I was gonna say also is that Steve would be considered the GOAT at this point for being the head when two companies collide, right? At this point in time, when two major companies back in the day where it was WCW, NWO, and versus WWE. Well, not really NWO, but WCW versus WWE. Steve was the pinnacle point at this stage, right? So I would say that is why he is the GOAT, is because he was the top superstar when all this shit, when two major companies with all the wrestling stars, legends, past, present, and future are still around today, culminated at this one point. I'd say the only way that he could get picked off his throne is if Tony Khan was to one day buy WWE or some shit, right? Hypothetical situation. Tony Khan buys WWE. Let's say their stock plummets and they can't afford to do the multi-million, billion-dollar around the world. I know it's never going to happen, but Tony Khan's a billionaire too. You never know. Nobody thought Ted Turner, the billionaire, would ever go out of business either. So you never know. And let's say...
Yeah, but here's the thing. Ted Turner started in television. He didn't do wrestling his whole life.
I know.
That is.
But he was still a huge wrestling fan, as Vince would say.
Yeah, but being a wrestling fan and living in the business and with the trends are two totally different things.
Which you're right.
Tony Khan's family owns the Jacksonville Jaguars,
and he's a fan.
So he's a fan, but the company is ran by professional wrestlers that have been in it for more than 10 to 30 years.
They're doing the Dusty Rhodes approach. Like Dusty Rhodes' family was in, and Cody is a brilliant president.
What they're doing is a updated version of Eric Bischoff with Ted Turner. What they're doing is Tony Khan is Ted Turner. Tony Khan writes the check. They can do whatever they want, but Tony Khan actually has say in what goes on with where the money's being spent.
So he's giving them creative control, which WWE initially gave and then took away.
Creative control. Yeah. They have all creative control. Tony Khan signs the checks, but he designates where the money goes, how they're doing it, and the whole 9 yards.
I think is great though, because he has confidence.
Ted Turner never did that. Ted Turner just loved it so much. He was like, there's $1 billion check. Do what you want to do. That's what ran Ted Turner out of business. He
was just signing checks, as opposed to Khan is actually looking into it.
He's actually asking where the fuck is his money
here's
going?
The thing is WWE, dude, has become so gimmicky, and that's what they tried to get away from initially. Was they were trying to get away from the the superstars and heroes and gimmicks and the chainsaw guy and the clowns and the whatever, so let them be themselves. That's where Attitude Era kicks in. So AEW is picking up where Attitude Era left off and Attitude Era left in the dust, because Attitude Era got back to the gimmicks of who's the good guy, who's the bad guy, whatever, without giving them creative control, where AEW is giving creative control. So he's signing the checks, but he's entrusting like guys like Jericho, Cody Rhodes, like the rest of them, like Lance Archer and Jake the Snake and all these guys to go out there and be able to be like, we know what's best for business and we're going to make this happen the way we've always done it. And that's how it should be. As opposed to you telling them what they're scripted, what they got to say, how they got to say it, when they got to say it. Let them go out and work off each other's energy and kind of do like an improv thing that works best to make each other look good. And I think that's what AEW is doing right.
Let me tell you something, baby. This is the dream Dusty Rhodes.
Let me know, baby.
That's
pretty good.
Very, very happy with what my son Cody is doing over there. Cody is doing a fantastic job.
Yo, that's awesome.
Thank God that he's not wearing no polka dot. Because if he was wearing them polka dots, he would rock them just like his father would and make $1 billion out of them.
Yo, Dusty, one of the greats. Rest in peace to Dusty Rhodes. But I'll tell you what, there's nothing that he didn't do in this industry that his sons did not learn from him, obviously. They picked up a lot.
I raised two hell of a boys.
They know what they're doing. Yo, they know what they're doing. They know how to do it. And this industry is in their fucking blood. Dustin and Cody, both of them, fucking genius. And I don't think the company, they have Chris Jericho. And you know, you got a lot of other great guys in there, like the Young Bucks, and I'm not taking away from any of the talent, but I'm saying to be led by guys like Chris Jericho, obviously, who was one of the big spokesperson who came over, but to be led by guys like Cody Rhodes and Dusty Rhodes, it runs in their blood, brother. I don't think it's going to get any better than that. It's the best guidance you could get. They love the industry. Years when I was younger, I used to think Goldust was a weirdo, and then as I grew older and I seen him for who he was and the person he was, I said, this guy is a genius. He's been around this long, bro. We talk about Chris Jericho being around 30 years, dude. There's not too many Dusty Rhodes out there. Cody's still fairly new, you know, but Dustin...
Cody's been around since 2008.
I know, but how long's Dusty been around? Dusty 93, 90, 90, 88? I don't know.
No, Dusty has been around since about, I think, like 77, 78.
He's that old?
Yeah, Dusty started in like 78.
No, I don't mean Dusty. I mean Dustin, like Goldust.
Oh, Dustin?
Dustin, yeah, not Dusty. I call him Dusty because to me that's Dusty still now. Like that's.
He probably started in around 84, 85.
I'm saying because he was like 93 WWE 94 when I was like 5 years old. Like I had a Flexi Bendham Goldust, and I mean he was doing that probably.
Goldust came around the time Owen Hart was introduced into the company.
I'm saying, so he's been around a while. Yeah, when I say Dusty, my fault for the confusion. I mean like not Dusty Rhodes, the late great, but Dusty. Like I call him Dusty because it's junior, like Dustin Rhodes though. But like he's still genius, bro, in everything he does.
You know, there was a shoot where Dustin talked about something with his father and Vince McMahon, and to what he said that his father told everybody this, whoever he trained, he would tell them when I first came into the WWE, they wanted me to wear a diaper. I told them I'll put on that diaper and I'll make $1 million out of it. Then they turned to me and then they gave me polka dots, and I said I'll still wear the polka dots and I'll make $1 million out of it.
Because it was in his heart, bro. That ran in his blood. He was born for this shit.
When you're given something, you're supposed to run with it.
You don't bitch and complain, because if you bitch and complain and you try to go against the grain,
they're just going to sit you down and you ain't going to do anything.
It's not even that. You go against the grain with sandpaper, it works okay. But when you go with the grain with sandpaper, smooth, baby. Smooth, baby.
Well, no, not in today.
But yo, and I'm starting to run out of space here on my phone, and my battery gonna die. So let's jump into this inaugural ball. We got DDP, Booker T. Oh, but like I was gonna say, the only thing what brings back to the beginning of this conversation is that the only way that Stone Cold's never gonna go down as the greatest of all time is if Tony Khan buys the company and has Jericho be the head of it, because that's the next generational merger. Like if he had like Jericho be up there or something, that would be the only way I think Jericho would be the GOAT over Austin.
Well, right now, in my opinion, Chris Jericho is the greatest of all time.
Me too.
He's been in the business since he's been in the business since he was 18. He's
30 fucking years, bro, of constant wrestling and touring and doing music and
yeah. Last point on Jericho. When you come out to your theme song and your theme song cuts off halfway,
and the crowd is singing it, the entire
crowd is singing it, you made it in the business as Hulk Hogan fame.
Bro, there's so many.
That is Hulk Hogan fame. That is being the top of the wrestling business and nobody else. There's only 4 people on the Mount Rushmore of wrestling. Hulk Hogan.
No, I disagree.
Hulk Hogan, The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and Jericho. Jericho, I disagree. Because of... Now, I'm going to list why.
I have it written right here, dude. We're going to get into it. But hold up. Let's get into the match first. Let's get into the match. So we got Inaugural Brawl, DDP, Booker T, Rhino, Dudley Boys versus Stone Cold, Kurt Angle, Jericho, Kane, and Taker. Now, that's every major player. I'd say the only one missing is The Rock from WWE. That is the Attitudes Era best of the best. In my opinion, that is the Mount Rushmore of WWE. Stone Cold, Kurt Angle, Jericho, Kane, and Taker. Add The Rock on there. We got another president's face added on the board. I'd say the only one you could subtract at that time period is Jericho because he's only been in for 10 years to replace him with The Rock. But since The Rock's been out for 10 plus years, I'd say add Jericho in. You got Stone Cold, Kurt Angle, Jericho, Kane, and Taker. That's the WWE Mount Rushmore.
Everybody's a little debatable. I choose Jericho because he's got the charisma, and
That's
plus
it.
also
100%. He's still doing fucking lion salts and shit.
He's young. He's young. The Rock, only for the fact that he made his career in professional wrestling, and he knew when it was time to stop.
You're right,
Yeah,
but still, he still could have kept going. He just
for it.
everybody said Rock was a shitty actor, and he wound up keep going with it. But I mean, like,
hold on.
now he's the highest paid actor in the world. You know what I mean? Like
Him
doing
and Tom
all the
Cruise
blockbusters.
are the two most requested actors in Hollywood today.
Who? Him and who?
Tom Cruise.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure Tom Cruise ain't been around a while.
The two most requested actors
Hold
to
up.
be in their movie.
Yo, we're gonna speed this up. I just want to read the rest of my notes off right quick. So Paul rides Brock's dick, and I get that because that's his major money draw. But one thing about Paul, no denying it, is he put a lot of people on. Paul Heyman from ECW. He brought the best out of his talent and getting everybody like just yelling gore at Rhino. He's like, gore, gore, and Rhino comes up, gore, gore. So I mean, like, he brought the best out of his talent. And I mean, Brothers of Destruction, they had the rollin', Limp Bizkit for life, fan, baby, you already know. But, I'm a roll for life. Austin had the Disturbed Step Up theme, which was my favorite. And I mean, we're going to talk about why we thought the pay-per-view failed. I loved it, in my opinion, because DDP and Booker, the reason it got bad backlash was because people said, well, it wasn't the whole WCW, and they didn't bring in the greatest stars, and they didn't bring this and that and the third.
No, they didn't.
No, here's how I look at it, though. I loved it, and you said it was a fail earlier, but DDP and Booker T were WCW, bro. This wasn't WWE Invasion by NWO. This was WCW invading WWE. You can't have Nash and Hall. They did come later. The NWO came later, and I'm glad they did it the way they did it, where they did come later, because it extended it, where Austin met the NWO. But at this time, bro, DDP, Booker T, the last WCW champion, bro, these two were top tier WCW, and they pretty much were what was left. We had Kidman. We had a lot of other people in there. So you did have top talent.
Do another video.
But I think people to get into that. Yeah, but people misconstrued. People misconstrued, and they said, that the whole roster wasn't there. But aside from Ric Flair, who did come later, become GM, WCW was there. NWO was to come later. And also, another segue off of that is that I'm glad they did everything the way they did it, because I wouldn't have it any other way, because as much as people complain, you're thankful to have lived it and witnessed it and see the great talents unfold the way they did. And that's what I'm about.
It was one of their 5 most bought pay-per-views in the entire history.
And dude, I didn't realize this was where Stone Cold traded. You know what I mean? Like, I thought like he traded and already came back.
Betrayals.
But we're going to jump into this. We're going to jump into this again, and we got to do Survivor Series 2001, because I was like, when the fuck did Austin come back? And it was Survivor Series. I thought he already left and came back, and Vince was like, come on, don't hug me. Don't hug me, Steve. I need the old Austin. And then when he did that screw job at the end, I was very mad at you, Steve. I was mad enough that I wanted to crack your beer can and not drink it. I remember I was at my cousin's house. I'm watching Monday Night Raw. I had a Stone Cold hat. I threw that shit on the ground. I got up and I stomped that shit out. And my cousins were looking at me, Estro, bro. And he was like, what? And I was like, why are you doing that, bro? You stepping on your hat. I was like, Stone Cold traded them. Like, we didn't even watch the pay-per-view, bro. We didn't afford the pay-per-view. But I saw it on Raw the next day, and I was like, oh, Steve, why?
You want to know what it was? They had to make it a draw because the original plans
they did genius
for the Invasion pay-per-view. Here is what here's what the original intentions were. When they did the Invasion pay-per-view, they knew they didn't have all the correct WCW guys. They knew that, and they rushed the gun on it. What they should have done was they ended it on a tie. WCW tied with WWE.
So we could extend it into ECW One Night Stand.
5-5.
ECW One Night Stand coming soon.
So the ECW One Night Stand didn't happen until 2005. That was 4 years later.
But, oh, really? 5 years?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
4 years later.
Damn. So, yo, we're going to wrap it up.
One Night Stand.
We're going to wrap it up because I don't want to lose any of this. And I got to shift around memory on my phone. But we are going to do a Survivor Series 2001 pretty soon. We're going to wrap up where Austin betrayed WWE and come back to that. And this is where we're going to end it right now is that, you know, after DDP hit the Diamond Cup cutter and Taker came in, I don't know if you realized, but he twists his ankle and goes, oh, right, like going in. But like once Charles Robinson got that last ride, I was like, oh, that motherfucker's dead. I was like, if you get bitch slapped and you get knocked the fuck out, you're dead now. But I didn't realize this was, like I said, I didn't realize this was the Austin Screw Show where he goes to WCW. And I thought like he already was at WCW and Vince was begging him to come back. But time has been so long in the past 20 years.
Storyline-wise, it made no sense. In my point of view, it made no sense.
Especially when he came back, he was already beating him with the pool cue and stuff. But yo, we're gonna get into it, bro. We're gonna wrap this here because my phone's gonna die. And I want to make sure it saves, buddy.
All right.
But, yo, we're going to wrap this here. And like I said, yo, we're coming back for the Survivor Series. Yo, we should shoot for next week or some shit. All right? You're going to be my wrestling guy, bro. TJ, if we're going to be co-hosting a fucking wrestling podcast, you're going to be my wrestling guy. Salute, brother. Holla at you later.
Holla at you later. And holla if you hear me.
Holler if you hear me.
So you heard it here, yo. We're going to come back. We're going to be wrapping this up and discussing this on the next WWT Wrestling with Time episode because I don't want my phone to die or run out of memory or whatever the case is. And I didn't really come prepared to go over an hour. And in HD, your gigabytes eat up when you an hour. But yo, shout out to my man, Tree J Roden, a.k.a. TJ the Roadstar Rhoden. Thanks for coming through. We're going to discuss Survivor Series 2001, how Austin makes that return from his fall.
And that's the bottom line, cause Stone Cold said so.
Whatever I got left in the can, you heard? Salute! Thanks for tuning in. Come back soon. You heard? Our time is now.